Um, Good morning. To begin, I would also like to pay my respects and acknowledge the land that we meet on today. Oh, sorry, a bit taller. Oh, that's a bit loud then. Good morning. I'd like to pay my respects and acknowledge the land that we meet on today. And also, before I begin, I would like to acknowledge all the survivors of the stolen generation. I'm thankful for the people who've come before me, and I'm thankful that when it got hard, you all didn't quit. I am here because of you. When I was 12, I was asked to give a speech and sum up what I thought it meant to be Australian and what I thought and what I saw was going to be the future. I picked 3 themes. I believed that Australia needed to be positive, proactive, and that we must never take a backward step. I still believe this today. Although in giving this speech today, much has changed for both myself and Australia more generally. My name is Renee Emzin. I'm a proud Bunjalung woman. My family is from the Gold Coast and Fingal. Today, in talking about the future, I'm going to briefly share with you a bit about my family, because much of my outlook originates from them. 2 people in particular, my grandmother and my father. So my grandmother, Renee Emzin, grew up in Fingal on an Aboriginal mission until she married my grandfather and moved to the Gold Coast. Unfortunately, my grandfather died when my dad was just 2 weeks old, leaving her with 9 children to look after. She worked multiple jobs to make sure that they all went to school and finished grade 12. For her, education was everything. Her life, like many others, was not easy, but I've never heard her complain and reflect negatively on anything. She taught me many things, but notably was her emphasis on working towards making a better future and focusing on what can be changed, particularly our actions in the present and our plans for the future. And the second, my dad, is one of only 16 Indigenous barristers in Australia. He has demonstrated and, I guess, highlighted to me what hard work and sacrifice is. He's a key reason why I'm studying law. He was a feminist before I knew what the word meant. He's my greatest cheerleader. He even flew down last night to watch me this morning. He's the ever-present reality check that I need. And because of these people, growing up for me, there was never a moment that I felt that I couldn't do anything or be anything. Throughout my childhood, I aspired to be many things, from a basketballer to a singer, even though I can't sing, and now, more recently, a lawyer. And there was never a time when someone said I couldn't do something. The conversation was always, let's set some goals, and how are we going to do it? I know that I'm fortunate, and I know how lucky I am, but I believe that this should be the baseline for all Australians, for all of our children. That if a child in a remote Aboriginal community or anywhere in Australia wants to be the CEO of an ASX company, they want to be a surgeon. And if they're willing to put in the work, then there should be no reason why that child can't achieve what they hope to be. However, with that requires not only positive role models, but the ability, encouragement, and the time to dream. They need support, education, and opportunities. Education and opportunity really is the key. More than ever, we have Indigenous people in every industry. You can turn on the TV and we can see Paddy Mills in the NBA, we can see Indigenous representation in boardrooms, in health, in the courtrooms. We have physical proof of what we always knew, that Indigenous people can be, do, and compete at the top of any sector. We have organisations like Career Trackers who have enabled some Indigenous people to think and strive for careers that they never even knew were possible. It is through opportunities like that that we have young people in positions where we can make change. However, in talking about the youth and my view of the future, it'd be remiss of me not to acknowledge the 8 deaths that we've had from suicide in this year alone. These deaths should not have happened. And as a country, we can and need to do better. We need to ensure that young people are supported. In a time where Indigenous youth are 5 times more likely to commit suicide than non-Indigenous people, any words or actions that do not aid and support the improvement of Indigenous people are not valid and they're not needed. As I've said, we have Indigenous people in all industries. I think now is the best time to be approaching problems from all angles. If we can start exploring options and ideas like inter-industry reconciliation action plans or cross-company action plans, using all that we have to make sure that Australia and the future for Australia is truly better. I think Michael Long summed it up perfectly when he said, it isn't about just white Australia and black Australia, it's about all Australia. We need to work together, all of us. We need to improve the outcomes for everybody. So for me, 15 years on, it still remains, Australia is and needs to be positive, proactive, and we need to make sure that we don't take any steps back. Thank you.